Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nerd Asylum, to tonight's episode of Homeward. And tonight's episode, its name, When the Dust Settles. This is our seven,
Eight.
eight,
Eight.
eight, eighth episode of this ongoing season. And, well, we'll retake our story um, a few days after where we left last time, like 5 days after. So, after the crew of the ship that has been known now as the Dralark woke up without any memories of who they are, they managed to escape a dying star and then began to figure out a bit of who they are. And among these people, we've been following four particular crewmates with particular and curious backstories. And in these last 5 days, they went on a bit on their separate ways as they were attending different things that the crew bridge managed to figure out that needed a precision and helping. And though some of you were helping with those, some of you have been helping with other things, helping the crew getting food situation going, things like that. And those 5 days have passed. The ship has been moving in a, you know, wandering direction, a kind of aimless among the dark of the stars. And you know what? Let's make this a roll. Let's roll initiative. Let's do that.
Initiative?
Sure.
Secret, I can't find my dice.
Oh no.
Okay, Mac will have to wait. I already know where Mac is now. Well, you find the dice. I know where Mac will be.
Let me get out the spare dice, Secret.
Cool. All right.
Nell has a 15.
15 for Null. Okay.
S has 18.
Oh.
12.
22.
22.
Okay.
12.
22. Okay.
I got a
thing.
16 on the die. Plus 6. So
Fun thing for Amos. The last time we had combat, you also rolled a 12. So
that's fun.
Null 15 and S 18, correct?
Yes.
The chat says get your stuff together.
I know, and I know exactly who's saying it too.
Okay, so let's go across the various hallways, going toward. Let's say we're starting at the 6th day. A couple of hours have passed since would be the morning hours inside the ship.
Oh, I just got my dice.
So where could we find Kay right now? Would she be on her room, or she would be already on her way to the I keep forgetting the word of it.
Office?
Her office, thank you. There's another word, but I cannot find it, but moving on.
She is on her way to her office with an apple in her hand, or whatever the equivalent to an apple is in space.
There's
Sure, you've got regular apples.
Yeah, sure as hell there's apples in this. If in a Starfinder you can find elves, humans. If you can find humans, it should be apples. Simple as that.
Okay, yeah, an apple. And yeah, she is either in her office or on her way to her office, one of the two.
You're about to reach the office itself when the door you arrive there, and fortunately the controls of the door now are properly working-ish. There hasn't been much issue in the past days for the moment, and there's some people waiting outside. Among some of them, there are some Shirin, actually, and that whenever you arrive, they begin speaking in like in that chattering and clicking sounds, which you immediately identify as being your native language. But for the humans that are nearby, they look kind of off put by it. And one of these Shirin, you identify uh, the colors are not like are somewhat similar to yours, like the that kind of like bluish tint, but whatever there's like green marks, which I think Kay doesn't have green on her, right?
No,
It's like
it's blue.
blue. Yeah, this one has like some very noticeable fluorescent greens on them, and at the other one it's completely green, like emerald gold green with some shades of yellow, and the one that starts speaking is a blue with the fluorescent green. Hello, are you the one that they say that it's helping people around?
She will nod, or they will nod, and switch to telepathy, to the group telepathy, so that it's not as off putting to the humans that are there.
Oh. They immediately get off put, unfortunately, but go on.
She's trying to make it more comfortable so they can at least be part of the conversation.
Okay.
I am. That's it. That's all she says. I am.
Okay. Okay.
That's all the humans here.
Oh my god. Wow, suddenly somebody arriving and saying, I am.
Well, no, there's clicking and then I am. Go
Yeah,
on.
yeah, there's the humans are like caught off guard, and the two Shirin like immediately perk up. You notice because there's sharing ways that there's that look of realization, and they're like, yes, exactly that. We heard that we can do that, but we don't know how. Can you help us?
And she's going to gesture while she's talking to the Shirin. I will help you with your telepathy so that you can talk to everyone equally.
And that was with telepathy too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Kay doesn't know that they know other languages yet. We haven't experienced that. Except for
okay.
Kroltwan.
You have, yeah. So yeah, at the moment, they nod, and I assume you let them. You open the door and you let them in.
Yeah.
The
Before I
human.
follow them in, I will turn to the humans. And how can I help you?
The humans are just like, three humans, one female, two male looking at humans. Different characters. Like they don't seem, how to put it. For you as a Shirin, you identify immediately that they may not be related to one another because the tone of skins and color and hair color are different.
Okay, just go ahead.
Yep. But the one of the male ones, the one that looks a bit of wrinkles in his face compared to the others. Which, hello. So I think we were helping you at some point, and he shows an identification card, and it has that kind of similar coloration as yours. I think we did something for you, something like that. It's just I don't. We're still trying also to figure out our names. We still haven't remembered them. We only know that we did something for you. If you could check in your files or anything, like we were looking in ours and just we can't find any answer about it. But I guess we're at your orders.
I can at least find out your names if you were here. I have most of the ship that I can at least get a name for you if I have your picture. Come in. We'll work on all of this.
Uh, they
Just
they fall
don't
away.
mind the Sharon when they talk. It's I will get their telepathy working so they can communicate with you better.
Uh, okay, thank you. And yeah, is that how you speak? No, that's rude. Asking. Uh, yeah, we will just follow and just remain in a corner. Don't worry.
There is a deadpan expression because it is hard to discern expression on a bug. So this particular Sharon nods in an almost exaggerated fashion as like a to allow them in, and nothing is rude when you don't know the right answers. This is how I communicate with others for now. When I remember how to use my mouth for other languages, I will talk that way. I apologize if this is uncomfortable for you.
The woman on the group like takes a small step ahead and says, "It's all right. It's all right. We are honestly we are kind of scared. And, I mean, this guy," and he points at the older one, doesn't admit it, but he's been not that well lately, and yeah, we just woke up kind of together. It's been rough, but yeah. Thank you for your help. I and if in the meantime we can help you with anything, just let us know. We surely can lend a hand somewhere here and there.
If you have access to your own records in your offices, then you might be able to help with the crew getting names for each person. I've helped quite a few people at least get their name back. So, we can see what we can do. Only together will we survive this. And then she's gonna go in.
Yeah, you go in and roll a a it's not diplomacy. I'm thinking that's the wrong direction on my what would be diplomacy? You know what? Go for profession because this is a profession you're roll profession and go for charisma, like your
Roll.
ranks plus.
So go ahead and roll diplomacy.
Yeah, sure. Diplomacy will be good.
Okay. That is 9, 10, 11, 12. 33. It's what I'm good at, Saccharine. It's the only thing I'm good at except for the design that's in my apple that I set on my desk with the design facing outward.
An apple a day.
I'm
Doctor, right?
I'm still getting through the idea of having seen something in Critical Role of people getting nuts that someone with all the plus and everything got at 31 and you just like 33 casually. But yeah, that's his group. Yeah,
I
you
rolled
begin
a
working
10
with
on the die. On this die. Don't forget the D6 that goes with it.
You roll a fucking 10. Okay, so it doesn't take you long to transmit to them the idea of how you do it. It takes you still a bit of time for them to get the grasp of being more concise and getting a bit of the wording for it. But you get into it, and in the meantime, you're also being able to like start searching for some of the files for these individuals. But as you're working through this, um, and you get in time to get them to even talk, like get them to converse between this Sharon and the humans. But as that happening, you hear a beeping sound, followed by a somewhat familiar voice, at least a voice you have heard before from the bridge crew. This is the bridge. We are soliciting the presence of how are her names? Yes, Kasinkara, Null, Amos, and S. Please report to the bridge. This is communications officer. What was my name? Damn it! Beep. It cuts.
I love that he forgot his name in character. That's very good.
Wait, was that the otter?
Indeed, it was the voice of the
Oh man,
communication
we
officer.
named him. His name is Bren.
No, that's the name of his species. No, Berneri.
Yeah, but we named him Bren until he could remember his own name. Or at least Amos did.
Amos did it. I don't know where you got
Amos
this.
did. I don't know if
Okay.
he got everybody. It's just
Okay.
everybody went with it.
Okay.
Allow me to RP for a second.
Yeah.
Because Kay is going to stand up and apologize to the group. I'm very sorry, but I have to go to the bridge. The one who forgot his name needs to talk to me. So I need to, unfortunately, scoot you out of my office. Just gonna...
Oh yes. The humans, they all exit the office, and you see even when they walk out, there's still some conversation going between this group of humans and the Sharon. Like there's,
It's calmer.
there's now interaction beyond of the human. It's no longer humans and Sharon. It's like a group of people talking.
Cool. I helped.
Yeah. Moving across the different. Who was the next one in the initiative? Let me see. Yes. The one I was thinking. Cool. Moving around the different hallways, some people going here and there, and some individuals working. We get into what would be the entrails of the ship. In between the different corridors, there's a smaller. I don't want to use the word because I don't know if it's trademark or something like that. Jeffrey tubes, from Star Trek, like those smaller sections of corridors that are like in between decks, where there's also some maintenance. That's a word. Thank you. Among some of those maintenance tunnels, there's thin, skinny-looking humanoid, isolated from many individuals around. But every now and then, the occasional voice in the communications from some people he's been taking tabs on. We find S just fiddling with some computer systems there, some analysis that were sending wrong data. It was sending that the corridor was in danger of being sealed off because it was going to lose pressure. But the corridor's in the middle of the ship, so there was no way that was happening. So again, working on one of the many menial computer tasks, we have S there. You're alone in this maintenance tube, finally away from crowds. It's cramped here, but the only thing accompanying you at the moment is the sound of the computers.
Just the way I like it. S has his hair pulled back in as much of a ponytail as he can, a few flyaways coming out. Every so often, he's readjusting his glasses as he's tinkering with the fine tuning of the computers here. And he's enjoying just getting lost into the programming of it, finding the logical problems and not having to think about the crowds that he's probably going to be called back to at some point, as usually happens. But for now, it's just him and the computers and this long stretch of empty hall.
For the most part, right now, it's even in a couple of these areas, and some have it more cramped than others. This one is average to the ones you've been around. You're finishing this check-in and repair, and now the reports and the conditions in it indicate everything is normal. And again, the situation the last days has been here and there, going left and right. You got some programs running now that's should give some solutions soon to the group. At the moment, you haven't seen much of the group, a part of Mac, who you've been sharing the room with. You will eventually tell us how that situation has been going.
It's been going.
It's been going. And you hear the beeping in the communicator. And you hear the familiar voice of this La Junta, the one that has been kind of coordinating a bit between Bridge and other people, Bohibel. Hey, S, can you hear us?
Picking you up fine.
Good. We're reading that the readings are back again to normal. Thank you on that. Thank you for helping with that. I'm sorry we had to call you for this. I know you were kind of busy, but
I volunteered for this. It's fine.
okay. Hey, just heads up. We're gonna call you to the bridge in a few minutes. I recommend you to maybe go around, take a walk or something like that before you get called up here. We got some possible news from the updates from engineering, from Kumar and Amos over there too. But yeah, I'm sorry. I know we told you could have a bit of a day away to finish those things for the crew, but yeah, heads up. You're gonna be hearing your name in a couple of moments in the corridors.
Yeah, I'll get things put away here and I'll make my way to be in a better place when I get that call.
Copy that.
And I just turn off the comms after that. So I get all the wires and stuff back into proper placement, and I make my way out of the maintenance area. S probably is going to take a bit of a longer route to kind of circumvent, because again, map in the brain. So just an area where it'll be as direct a path to the bridge, but also kind of avoiding major crowds.
I guess you could go through like the maintenance tunnels even to avoid some of that. You have figured some padding, adding this part of the map and structure to into your mental GPS. And yeah, you could also just exit out into one of the corridors and try to navigate around the main areas where activity is been going, as you've been adding also in your mental map, like points where things are being worked on.
Yeah. I think S would stick to the maintenance tunnels at least for a bit, and then as getting closer to the bridge, shift out into the actual main corridors.
Right then. Yeah, it takes you a bit. You've been working on this for a while now, and there it goes, the fireworks. Great. Happy 15th of September for all Mexicans. Either way, so yeah, you begin making your way through the tunnel, through the maintenance tunnels, crawling climbing some ladders here and there. You stay in there for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You know you're not making too much progress in terms of distance because how you have to move.
Mhm.
But it's more comfortable than having to be near people. Eventually, you know it will take you triple the time using the maintenance tunnels from where you are to the bridge. So you
Yeah.
exit out, and you're in some areas that, though they are near of the living sections of the ship, you're not passing through the main corridor. So you're making your way through there, and after some 5 minutes, you hear the same message from the communications across the I forgot the name, across the ship.
Right.
Uh,
It's probably
and-
happened before.
yeah, and at this moment, you also, just by hearing that voice, you also remember, because you've been a bit in the bridge too, the name of this officer, the Bruneri, the other guy, called Alduri,
Okay. Sorry.
communications officer Alduri.
Sorry.
Also, he's not that small. It's okay. It's not small. He's like 5 feet, slightly above 5 feet, but barely.
So like just kind of like at my shoulder. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's not like really, really other size. It's bigger, but yeah. Meanwhile, let's see who goes in the initiative. Yes, okay. Going levels above, just a couple of levels above where we left S. We are actually, we're at the beginning of the day kind of thing, so. Nolodius.
Yes.
You left some things to work in the greenhouse, and Bluequower asked to handle those things. So you're taking a bit of your time in your quarters, and when you're arranging your things and everything, and you're looking for the moss ball. It's again, it's not where you thought you left it. And you're looking around, and then you see it's on the kind of table desk area that is in front of the window.
Mm-hmm.
And you go and grab it along with like its tiny bottle thing where it's late. What would be the name of it? I know there's a name for how it's called, like tiny section.
Terrarium.
Terrarium, yeah. You grab the terrarium with the moss ball. And correct me if I'm wrong, but would Nolodius have the no, it's not called practice. Would Nolodius talk to his plans?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely he does. I think like this moss ball in particular, I have been imagining it like on a chain very similar to a pocket watch, where he keeps it in his pocket most of the time, but occasionally he'll take it out and talk to it. Partly because he's just a weird guy, but also partly because he has that little voice in his head sometimes, and sometimes it helps him focus his thoughts if he's actually addressing an object. So he 100% talks to that moss ball.
You're grabbing it and like you lift it up, and you feel you're about to begin talking when like you have in your vision of focus the mouse ball and behind the window, and for a moment you see a reflection, which is weird because in this window it doesn't reflect.
Right, there's just space on the other side.
Yeah. And when you focus back into the window, it's again the emptiness of space, and you swore you saw like the reflection of like a figure. You're not even sure what was it.
I must be seeing things, my little friend. Very odd, though. Perhaps I'm not sleeping well. I mean, how can one sleep well when you're on a ship in space with a bunch of dead people? But tucks it back in his pocket. Maybe goes over to the window and like rubs at the screen a little bit with his sleeve.
You begin cleaning, like rub it just to make sure it wasn't like something dirty. And as you're doing that motion, that circle motion, the stars are beautiful. Like it's completely pitch black with dozens and dozens of tiny glimmers here and there. Some have that like very tiny grain of salt gleam in it, and bright white bright. Some have a slight blue. Some have a bit of a reddish tint. It's beautiful. And your motion begins to slow down as you get lost in there. You blink and hear immediately the communications across the ship calling for you.
How much time has passed?
Do you have a clock or maybe in your ship? Actually, in your quarters, I guess would be like a clock.
I imagine he'd have like some timepiece in the room. I'm wondering if he just like zoned out. What I'm trying to establish is if he just zoned out and lost like hours.
You check, and I assume you have like, because of the way and Noel's dressed, I assume he has a clock.
Yeah.
Okay,
he's a man who has a clock. He dresses like a man who has a clock.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
What about a sundial?
It's like a red sundial.
A sundial in a ship. Oh, it was 8 p.m. when we were in the system. Now it's another hour. Oops. You look at it and yeah, you're not even sure what hour was before you closed you got lost in that.
There you go. He's going to check his pocket to make sure he still has the mothball on him, that he has not misplaced it, and then make his way up to the bridge.
Still in your pocket.
Perfect. It's just me and this moss ball against the world.
Perfect. Moving across the hallways toward a bit of the back side of the ship and center of it. This section of the ship is an area that S has been actively avoiding, but one of our characters has unfortunately been trapped there in the past days.
For like the last 5.
Yeah. Amos, you've been going from... Thank you for the fireworks. You've been going from the main core of the ship toward the core section that has the drift core. And then you've been going back to the core, the main core, and then back again. And then you've been going all around that section of engineering constantly. And in the past days, some people have joined you to help you. In particular, this one that I already told you met, which you are right now, as you are in the main core section, you see him enter as the door opens. You've been in the core section before. You fought against the shade creatures and the weird, leathery, floating thingy that was creepily singing and absorbing the core. But now it's well lit up. There's no corpses here, and there's people going here and there. Some people that you've been actively trying not to yell at them about at how much they don't know how to do things, and suddenly being like, oh, you actually know, you're competent, okay, stay here. Between you and this other individual, you've been trying to keep engineering working-ish, and the individual we see entering into engineering is this rugged looking half orc, and he has like the same kind of uniform as all of the other individuals of the ship has, with the indication of the engineering, which is basically just a cog and a bit of a coloration of like an orange tint in his what would be
Shirt, lapel.
in lapel, yeah, like a small
I
indication.
couldn't think of it either.
A lapel thingy, and as he enters, at the first time you met him, you thought he maybe be an android too, because the right side of his face, from the jaw up to the ear and a bit into the eyebrow, it's mechanic. And eventually you realize, no, it just apparently that's some modification that maybe he had at some point. And he walks toward you. His expression has been hard for you to tell. Whenever he's pissed, whenever he's angry, if he like he hit his small toe at something, or that's just his face of, I'm bothered by everything that is in front of me. And he gets to you with a data pad, and without a word, just like hands it over.
If I look at this, am I going to be disappointed in the ship, you, other people, or somehow all three?
You're asking that as a character or as in player?
No, as Mac.
Well, the Chuckle Fox may be stupid, but they actually got the job done. But we still
Always
have
a but.
It's a boat. Yeah, the ship is just not. She's not cooperating. We're still having issues with the grid, with the energy grid. We got the Chuckle Fox got energy running up to the observatory and a bit of the sensor area. So I guess we got some of that going on for good. But yeah,
You got to fix the sensors though.
Yeah, I guess one of us will have to do that.
At some point, yeah.
That walk, yeah. Fuck. I do my coffee.
Exactly, Fred. I don't know. You usually bring it.
Did I left it in the drift engine again?
Did you leave coffee in the drift engine again?
Not in the drift. You know what I mean.
I expected from the newbies, but you. Mac is holding his coffee and is just waiting for him to notice at this point.
You just notice. You've seen that Kumar has definitely been someone that you catch that he's noticed a lot of things around him. He's like the kind of person that is like, this is my area and I know exactly what everybody's doing on their consoles, and that guy is playing Defender and he shouldn't be playing Defender right now.
That guy's playing Galaga.
Yeah.
He thought we wouldn't notice.
And you do see his eye that has a bit of a mechanical glint, kind of rotates and is staring right at your coffee as he's just rubbing his forehead.
Mm-hmm. Mac hands him the coffee.
He takes it.
Does nothing for me anyway.
Uh-huh.
Mac is like, also he's got like shakes going on. It's been on edge for like 5 days now. Super noticeable now. Whether or not he's been smoking.
He drinks it. So yeah, I guess we'll have to check out that and do that spacewalk to get that fixed. Or we could get one of the ships going. Apparently, we had some available ships. But I guess that will be up for a call from the... And he immediately gets interrupted by the call from the bridge.
Well, speak of the devil.
I'm gonna keep this coffee while you go and check on them. And you tell me what they want. Whatever they want, just tell them we can't.
What do you think I've been doing for 6 days? Mac just kind of throws up his hand behind him as he walks out.
Also, can you tell the guy, the skinny guy, if he can get the list for the crew going already, just to make sure that we have all the engineers down here. We really need to
Again.
get operations going, please.
Yeah, been doing
Yeah.
it. Been bothering him about it every time I can.
Oh, bother him more.
I could send S to do it too. The bothering, not the list retrieving.
God. Just turns back and like stares at the
The
core.
aggravated look from Faye right now.
So slowly, people are beginning to gather, and I would say the first ones to see each other's are S and Null. S already had a like 10-minute notice.
Mhm.
Hold on a moment.
Mhm.
We'll be right back. I have to fix my lighting, and I can't do that without foobarring everybody's cameras. So
Oh, no.
my apologies.
Sorry.
Yeah, technical situation. So we are back, and our main characters, we don't know if they're here or not, are on their way to the bridge. And I think the first individuals that would find each other would be S and Null. Null arriving directly to the bridge like section, and S arriving right behind him because he got the like notice before it was actually made the official call. And S lives like in the no lives in the.
I mean, for the
I'm
past
confusing.
5 days, he's probably been somewhat living in the maintenance tunnels.
Yeah, but Null lives in the officers' quarters, which are near the bridge.
Yeah. Nah, it's so.
Guys,
Oh, I was just gonna say that, like, seeing Null, S is going to just do a quick jog to close that distance,
Mhm.
and then say nothing.
What a power move! I was gonna say when S, this makes it even funnier. When S sees Null walking through the corridors, he looks almost like, what's the word I'm looking for? Dissociated. He looks very disoriented as he's walking down, like his feet are moving in that direction, the body is going with it, but the mind not home. So as jogging up behind him does not like alert him to any presence or anything, and he just keeps walking along, cane in one hand, his other hand in his pocket, as he makes his way to the bridge.
Very like hesitantly and gently, S is going to tap on Noel's shoulder.
There was like a full body shudder. It was like,
It's me.
sorry, that was most unbecoming of me. I've feeling a bit out of sorts. Good to see you though. It's been a couple days. How are you?
I'm avoiding the crowds, which is nice. Computers are understandable enough most days. How's the greenhouse?
Well, it reeks a bit of death right now. We're working on a lot of biocomposting, as you could imagine. But it's good. It's good. We've got fairly resilient crops of produce coming up now from whatever wasn't wiped out by whatever that blight star was. So we're in pretty good shape as far as resources for the future go. So not bad. Not bad. Been doing a lot of reading.
Yeah, you had a lot of books.
I did have a lot of books. I also found 3 notebooks. In a handwriting that I assume is my own, which is odd considering that I have a typewriter. But nevertheless, have been perusing those as well. And this infernal object, and he reaches into his pocket and pulls out the moss ball on a chain, continues to elude me. I found it on my plant shelf. You remember when we went in there and all the plants were everywhere. Well, I've replanted everything. Some of them didn't make it, but the Monstera, thriving. I found this little guy tucked in there, and I find myself rather taken by him, and I've been carrying him around, and he seems to just disappear of his own volition. But perhaps the mind is just not quite so resilient after whatever we've been through. But sorry, I'm blathering.
It's fine. I don't often speak, so it's fine.
Well, how are things looking on the computer side? Are we up and running at all? Is everything? I've seen more screens up and around.
Yeah, I've been working on those. It's odd. Machines shouldn't get amnesia, but that's what it looks like. There's pockets of the data that's there, but it's like the computer's having trouble remembering. And then there's pockets of data that are just gone. So I'm trying my best to fix that while also trying to get the most important and critical things up and running. There's a lot to be done.
You bring up an excellent point, and something that I have been wondering about is that amnesia, as we understand it, is something that's more prone to be seen in organics, organic life forms. But I am aware that there are a number of people in our crew who are of a mechanical nature, and the fact that this amnesia seems to have extended to those with an electronic brain and not a meaty one is strange.
Yeah.
At that point, you hear the doors opening for the bridge, and you see a familiar looking Shirin as Kasinkara enters the bridge.
Ah, Kasinkara.
Hi, Kay.
Kay is wearing 2 ties.
Oh, one of them squishy?
No, one of them is not squishy.
It's just 2 ties.
Just 2 ties, okay.
I love it.
They are drastically different in their design. And they are acting like everything's normal.
Okay.
It's part of. Okay, it's just a side note. If you want to mention it, go for it. If not,
I
it's
love
fine.
it.
S rolls with it.
Yeah, it's just a thing for today.
It's just amazing.
If Kay's gonna say it's fine, Null is not gonna say anything. You
They
look
couldn't
well.
decide.
Ah, perfectly reasonable. I've been there.
Perfectly reasonable.
How have things
hello.
been? Hello.
Things are going well. I think. Trying
Unit's
to go
working.
well. Aldery, any problems with the comms since S has been working on it? And K directly looks at the otter when they speak.
You see Aldry. He's working with some data pads. It has like whenever you guys arrive, he has like acknowledge like acknowledge and make like a sign of like a moment. He jumps. Like, he looks directly at Kay. Ah, yes, you do that. What was the question? Sorry.
I asked if there were problems that we needed to address with the comms, or they all seem to be working pretty well. I mean, it's obviously working at least somewhat since we all made it up here from your announcement.
Yes, inside ship apparently looks everything well. At least you know, even if people haven't been like hearing them, I think people have been found by the patrolling individuals of the guards of the ship. We still don't really know much about them. But yeah, inside ship communications are functioning as good as we can ascertain. We still can't fully make the communications go to specific places, and we just end up calling everybody in the ship and letting everybody in the ship know that we need just the one guy from engineering. Which is
The
great.
Walmart intercom.
It's a Walmart intercom.
That
great.
one guy from engineering.
It's
Little
great.
Timmy, your mother's looking for you.
There have been, all of you can attest that there have been many times that are like calls that you're like, that probably could have been avoided.
We just got butt called by the captain.
Yeah.
That's why S and volleyball are just like personal like linked up. It's just like, hey man, just let me know.
But yeah.
So
Where's
what are-
your other the tall one? What's his name? Amos.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's on his way.
He comes from engineer, right?
I don't know where he's been. I don't keep track on him.
Yeah.
I probably should though.
Somebody really must, but we should coordinate.
I
shifts.
really probably should,
Oh,
but
The door
Right.
opens and enters Mac, which looks like he's been working in something of engineering. Like his sleeves
He
are
looks
up.
annoyed.
He looks annoyed.
Sleeves are up, back looks annoyed.
Annoyed is just the mood from engineering.
There's just like the awkward nod that Mac and S give each other like every time they see each other like at the room. It's just like
they've been like, yeah, we live together, but we've been avoiding each other.
It's just
for
like
5 days.
it's just like one nod to say like, yeah, I see you, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, we got everybody up. Okay. Maribel, can you come in to the bridge? We got the people. Roger that. I'll be coming in a moment. A couple of minutes pass. You waiting in front of the display control table you have. You see that you hear the door open and you see this tan skin Lashunta enter. Hey, you come in. Great. Anyway, We got some news. I think, yeah, good and bad and terrible. Let's just start listening. All right. And he moves toward the table
Is
and
there ever gonna be a day where we don't have terrible news in the list and it's just bad?
I don't know. Since engineering has been up and running, we've been getting a lot of those kind of news. No,
Oh yeah,
no.
can we get the list of crew members soon, please?
I've
You
been
see,
working on that.
And
You-
thank you so much.
You see how Bahibel like pointed looks both at K and S.
It's not
It's
my
just-
fault my stuff is locked.
Gives a look of like, man, I've been working.
And that's what I've been telling the guys in engineering. So, yeah.
For race of the captain, it was noted that the captain was human in your records.
Okay.
But-
That's what I wanted to know. I didn't want to interrupt, sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. You can throw one of those questions and be like, DM.
This is very important for lore.
It's the DM Molotov cocktail.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just trying to keep this together. So, okay. I've been working on helping people remember who they are and what they did so that we can assign them appropriately if we need to. It's not been an easy task.
I get it. 100%. I get it. You've actually been really helping getting people down to engineering and stuff to help us. I wish I could make the other guys understand that. But, you know.
I can always make a trip down and explain the lengthy process until their ears bleed. They you know.
S really is the IT guy.
Gilbert rolls up.
As much as I would love to see Kumar's ears bleed, I'm pretty sure he'd punch you before that happened.
Anyway. Please
News.
continue.
Yes, the news. So we got some reports from engineering. Some of you may already know. He points at Amos. Actually, Amos, you're actually more familiar with that. I'm still trying to figure out some of the reports and explanation that you sent me. So, you and Kumar mentioned that sensors are just not properly working, right?
Caught me off guard. I was eating an animal cracker.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, the ship's essentially blind, basically.
That matches up with previous
yeah.
diagnostics I've run, so
But, you know, to get the sensors to work on like the front of the ship and things, we need to do an evo to see what's going on and to repair it, at least mostly. We also need metals and mechanic stuff. Hold on. Pieces, parts, metals. I have a list that Sikrin actually sent me. And we need a lot of stuff to get this thing moving. At least to a decent level. We'll probably have a better chance of getting one of the smaller ships up and running to go do supply runs and bring stuff back.
Supply from where? We're in the middle
Somewhere
of
else.
nowhere.
Do we know yet where we are?
There's no planet directly next to us, and I'm going to gesture to the blank space out the window.
Well, yes, I had noticed that. I was wondering if perhaps we were in a system with something something I hadn't considered in the
Okay.
past 5 days.
Oh, hi.
Saccharine,
How you doing?
with the focus that S has been doing, I know that the communications was the top priority, but we did talk a little bit last session about navigation being up there. Would I have an idea of how our navigation systems are looking at the current, like if we know if we're in a system or anything like that?
Kind of. The last time the way you did it, it was just a blind jump, and now you all been working in a bit and recovering a bit. You would know that that blind jump could have left you in a random distance from whatever it was, and you got far from the star, but you have no idea how far it was. Jumping a drift in the drift, you might be like a couple of seconds in the drift and then go out, but you could have gone
Right.
way far. You would know that navigation systems are kind of operational. There's a certainty of like we can see forward and only forward. And I think you also would know after looking around that they were working, because we were also checking like computers, the computer part of the energy grid too, that they were trying to work on the observation deck, which is tied to navigation and sensors. And apparently they were, last you know, they were working on that part to make it kind of operational, have something to look around while the rest of the sensor array gets properly repaired.
So yeah, we may not be able to see a ship here, and there's none that have been picked up on the front-facing sensors. I know that people on observation deck were working on something. We can check with them, see if there's anything they've picked up, but if we need materials, perhaps if there's anything that we can salvage from non-essential parts of the interior of the ship until we can figure out some place to go.
Can we possibly salvage parts from the smaller crafts to use on the bigger parts of the ship? Maybe not all of them, obviously, but one or two. A ship this size surely has multiple smaller units.
And there's definitely stuff in the cargo holds right now. Although we can't even open one of the outer hatches for the cargo holds, but let's see what we can do.
Amos, you would know that yes, you could salvage things to get at least the part of the assembly problem going and solve, but for the drift engine, just to require that like very specific material for the crystal core inside of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that the smaller vessels
the
would
smaller
not.
vessels aren't going to help.
Yeah, you would require to find it in a.
It required
somewhere that may be a system, not in the middle of nothingness.
So yeah, Amos would say, yeah, to get the assembly up and running, but the drift engine, no. For that, we need an actual system so we can get like a runic crystal. Things like that, but if I maybe get the assembly working, maybe strip one of the or two of the other ships, see if I can get some of the sensors working on the outside of the ship, so we can at least see vaguely where we're going. So, I mean, those little ships gotta have sensors too, so.
Might be able to at least see how it's assembled and know what parts might be needed on a bigger scale. Since none of us have our full memories back, we're all working on bits and pieces. Some more than others, some less than others.
Bits and pieces.
Bits and pieces.
As soon as like the saying "some working on bits and pieces," Ash just looks to Mac, where it's like obviously Android put together.
Was not intended as
Mac
a pun.
acknowledges the joke. Thank you.
There's nothing weird question. Hi, sorry, I'm not technically minded, but are there any pieces that you're missing that are simply mechanical in nature, just a gear or a ram or something like that? Because there have been very interesting studies into the growth patterns of oyster mushrooms in replacing various building materials. And if that's something assistance I can provide, please let me know. That is all. Continue.
Probably. Mac looks real concerned that we're replacing parts of the ship with mushroom with mycelium, and he'll play in for the sake of Melodious.
They have their own kingdom. Surely,
Yeah.
surely they're very powerful.
I'm sure they are. Man, you know what? We'll look in and see if the mushrooms will help.
I think, Amos, though this conversation of the mycelium kingdom is weird, and you're like worried about that, it comes to your mind that part of the drift engine, it does require some arcane manipulation into it. A bit of that.
There's some arcade stuff going on with the engine. Maybe that there may be some stuff that you can help with there as well.
Fascinating. I had no idea. I mean, perhaps at one point I had an idea that there was arcane magics within the drift engine, but this is the first time this brain has heard of it. So,
hey, you do arcane stuff as well, don't you?
Was that still to me?
I
Oh, sorry. No, yeah, my cat was being
looking
really
at
loud.
Kay, actually.
My bad.
Mac was cutting off N before he could go on another spiral.
Kay just... I am more of the purely scientific, I think I was. Where, you know, that part really doesn't matter. I help people with their mental states. I don't help people magically.
All right. But I mean, if you want to take a stab at it.
We'll let anyone enchant this drift engine.
Right?
We'll let anybody help with this drift engine. We'll even let your plant friend, and
Pluquar is
Scott-
not... No.
Pluquar. Thank you. I could not remember Pluquar.
For another side note, is Megan or Kreltwan available to speak to us?
They are right now checking some things back in the barracks section and armory. Apparently, there were some issues during our whatever happened to everybody, and unfortunately, things were not well there. And they went on to check in to also like organize the people for the security patrols there.
Well, I've discovered that everybody who was wearing the red belonged to the same grouping of security detail. I have everyone's pictures and names, and I can help them at least identify themselves.
That's great. That is actually great news. Hey, yes. Okay.
You wanted a full amount of the ship's crew. I have at least some of it. And if we find someone that can remember their name is Argus, they are supposed to be the captain, if they live.
Yeah, we haven't heard a single person named Argus or like that. And we try also to go into the captain quarters to see if he's there, and they're locked.
I also need somebody with a security key to unlock something for me.
Like
Like
kind
a
of
file.
security?
A file from my office. I apparently locked it, but I don't know how to get back into it. It requires a type of security key that I don't have access to. S, you might be able to assist me with that.
Yeah, I can take a look at it.
Hack it, S. Hack it.
Always.
That's me as a player, not.
I'm always looking for a reason to.
Yeah, sure. I think in such case, we should. And you hear he gets cut by communications inside the bridge. Hey guys, hello, guys, here, over here, observation deck. We got shit running over here. The engineer guys got it running. Please, can you guys check it? And Makio looks irritated, like. Yes, we got it. I guess last just get back here and just if you can start steering the ship toward the direction. If you saw something good, yes, actually, we saw a nearby system. We would need to do one of those fancy jumps that the big one with the pink hair, kind of scary guy did. As Glass, the guy you're talking is here next to me in the bridge. There's a long silence. Copy that. Observation deck is running. Out. Sorry for that. Our two pilots of the bridge are kind of excitable, one might say. But yeah, observation apparently is now fully running, fortunately.
That's splendid. Good show.
Yeah, that could help us to get ourselves to the nearest system. And maybe there we can find some of the resources we need for all the reparations. Repairs. That's how you say it in common. Repairs, not reparations. That was actually my fault.
I figured you Spanglished again.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's one of those things where reparations is almost right.
It's
like it's very
almost
close,
right,
and I knew what you
was
meant.
like-
I was doing an interview today with a candidate, and instead of I was saying the name of the company they worked before in Spanish, and then I was gonna say correct, but instead I said correcto.
Oh my goodness.
With like an American accent, and then I was like,
Ouch.
oh god.
Big
Yeah,
oof energy.
yeah.
Big
I
oof.
was I was holding my laughter so much. But yeah, you have the observation deck ready, and perhaps that can help. Yeah. Well, will any of you know how to use an observation deck? Does any of you have any memories about that?
No.
This might be a question both in and out of character as to whether or not I'm correctly understanding the function of the observation deck. I'm imagining in my mind it's a place with a lot of screens for different feeds around the like a security observation room. We got all the little cameras picking up views from different areas, and they're all displaying there. No, cool. Okay,
No, it's more like a observation of like
The
around
stars?
like yes, like
Like
an
an-
like
like
a
an
Star map
observatory.
room.
like an observatory.
Ah,
Yes.
Okay, cool. I had fully misunderstood that.
I was on your boat, Ray.
I was just sitting here like, I've worked as a security guard for 6 years. I know what an observation room is.
Yes, there's a what
Fully
is
the
it?
wrong boat.
Okay, go on. Not the remnant. Yeah.
With the passing knowledge that S has of the observation deck, could I make a guess and if I would have skills applicable?
I need to double check on the starship stuff. which I should just go back
with your
to the
gut.
index because I just passed the index. I think, if I recall
Here's
correctly, it's computers and physical science that are able to check on that. But I'll while this is thinking, you guys continue on because I need to double check on
Yeah,
that.
like just here's another good question. Would Mac, who knows how to drive a ship, also have knowledge on the observation deck? Just, but that's also asking if the driver of a car knows how to read a map.
Ooh, which the answer is not always yes.
Yeah,
Which-
which is
It depends.
Which
Do you have
maybe?
Google telling you left turn in 1 mile?
God, I
Left
hate when she
turn in
talks to me.
500 feet. Left turn in 100 feet. Left turn
Shut up.
right now.
good. Google, please.
You missed your left turn. Recalculating.
Calculating.
Stop yelling at me.
Yeah, GPS.
It's really. I saw you type that pun. I was like, oh, that's real good.
It was sad no one replied to it
Sorry,
in the
I
chat.
was.
It's okay.
I don't have an excuse. I was just lazy.
It's alright.
I was sanding my deck, and that sounds like I'm making it up, but I'm not.
I don't see where you typed it.
It was a few days ago.
Yeah.
I completely missed it. I apologize.
It's okay. I was really proud of making it. That got me through.
I think that overall, computers can help getting established, but there's gonna be a requirement of this would be more of a character, a player knowledge rather than character. You might require, depending on how you use the observation deck, it might be a physical science, might be a piloting, might be a life science, might be like it's a place that you can get a lot of data, and out of it you have to,
Yeah.
So really, all four of us should go to.
Could I convince you of a mysticism check? Because hear me out. Null, now that I know what the observation deck is, Null would definitely have gone there. I cannot roll computers or physical science.
Well, as you are, you're trying to remember, it does ring a bell from one of the times you were checking information that was in the greenhouse. There were data that was brought from the observation deck.
Okay.
And that was very focused to life science, For a moment, I thought you were doing that to us, you wanted to say something.
He's trying to cast a magic spell on the cat.
I'm sorry.
I apologize. I was trying to be quiet and not as noticeable, and then he just was being very stubborn.
Yeah.
And just staring at me.
All cat-related interruptions are valid.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, so you would gather that, and actually as a player, there's the science and arcane division. So there's a possibility that, in a world that magic and science work together very well, and there's even those people that are what's the fucking difference? Is that just the same? There's a very high possibility that those sensors and systems there could work also on a mysticism level.
Cool. That's all I need to know.
All right. So, we'll check out observation to see if we can help.
Didn't they just say it was working and they don't need us there?
Well, weren't we heading to? Well,
They
maybe
apparently
not.
had other news too, so we should listen to that.
Maybe it's not so much we help them; they help us figure out a system nearby. They said something about it, but we'd need a drift jump, is what it sounded like they were saying. But
Yeah,
perhaps,
and I'm a big scary guy.
yes,
Oh, I thought they were talking about his.
comparatively,
All of you are quite tall, and both of you
Do
have
you-
pink hair.
I
do you
helped.
think I'm scary?
I helped with the driving, so I thought it may have been.
Yeah, but I thought this was going to be Kay, actually.
Well, he
They can
deliberately
be
said
quite
pink hair.
intimidating when they want to be.
I can be intimidating? I haven't
It's a
tried
compliment. It's a compliment.
Give it a go.
Let's level up.
No,
Points
no,
into
no.
intimidation.
that. No, I actually have points in intimidation, and I have a
Oh,
plus
shit.
6 to it.
Yeah.
So, Kay,
5.
Better
he
than me.
says- When
He's actually better than Mac.
when Null says give it a try, Kay's gonna turn and just angrily hiss.
Good. Yes, I am quaking in my boots. That was quite
Do you
scary.
want me to roll that or no?
Roll intimidation. Just do it. just do
Just
it.
for giggles?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for giggles.
Is that a natural 20?
It was.
Yes.
Mac,
Hold
who has
on.
been
I gotta do
leading-
the math for this.
Oh my god.
Because it was also, so it was a nat 20 plus 5 is 25 plus 14.
Why? Wait. Why the plus 14?
Because I have points in it.
So okay. How much then?
That would
A
put
lot.
it at 30 something. Hold on, 25 plus 14 is 39.
Hey. Okay.
Yeah,
So
So-
apparently
shits
it's a
himself on the bridge.
yeah, that works.
So you do that. The hissing doesn't only come through your mouth, which starts sounding like
angry cicadas.
it starts like a cicada, but then gets a bit louder and like a higher pitch. You at the beginning you don't realize, okay, you do it briefly, but also that same like high pitched noise, like a ringing, comes through telepathy. And when you stop, you see Noel staring. If he was able to be more pale, he would be. And the rest of the crew is also staring like.
My apologies. Was that frightening?
Yes, but we asked you to do it, so.
I
No,
know-
No, we
good?
didn't.
well, I did.
The other says. Aldri says like, no, data pad.
You did quite a good job, though. I am quite frightened, and I will be
I
thinking
will do
about
an
this.
elegant bow as though it was an act, because it was for Kay, but they got more into it than they thought they would. And then stand back up and try to look as harmless as possible.
I
Mac will
love Kay.
retrieve his dignity from the floor as well as himself as he's, when that happened, just slid from where he was leaning on the console directly to the floor and just did not get up.
He's fine down here.
S is never gonna talk to
Oh,
Kay
this
again.
is my home now. Got
S is
it.
just like staring, and it's like there's fear there. There's also like slightly impressed that it came out of nowhere, and it's just like you guys would know S enough now is that probably wants to just get away from people.
Well, it was very informative, at the very least. My.
Boyle just like looks away from Kay and like into the table like. Observation deck is working now. That's good. That's good. And yeah, we'll probably ask the guys in observation deck if they can get some readings going, or if you guys want to go down there, down into the decks with to that level, go over there and check that. That's totally fine. Yeah.
We could wait for a reading and then make a jump, perhaps? Can the ship even make a jump at this point? Mac?
Sky's looking at notes. Okay, um,
I think I sent this guy the biggest wall of text out of
Oh,
geology.
it's 4 walls of text, and they're all separated by my own comments.
Oh, I only got 2 walls of text.
F4.
I got it in verbal form, so my note taking is garbage. There's no punctuation to it, hardly. There's just like some dashes and stuff,
I
so I
wish I
could
could show
separate
you
things.
guys the wall of text that Sequin sent me.
If you want to check that in the meantime, while we do a quick bio break, just to clarify those things.
Okay.
Okay, sure. We do a quick bio break.
Bio break. We'll be right back.
Bio break. Bye. Hello. Oh, cat. Hello, everybody. We're back and going to continue on with the story. So Mac got a question. A question. There was a question going for Mac in terms of like what's up with the if we couldn't do a drift jump. That was a question.
The short answer is not long ones. It can't do long jumps. It will become unstable very quickly, but it's at a critical point right now, which is why we got dropped very quickly after entering the drift jump the first time. It's gonna sit on this side because my background keeps popping in. And, some stuff can countermeasure it, like piloting, good piloting, and other such things.
Oh, well, if
But, there's always a possibility that we end up somewhere not good.
observation deck's picking it up, I don't think it's far away.
To be fair, also, where we are now is not all roses and daisies, so odds of ending up anywhere better, fairly good, right? I don't know.
I mean, aren't you a scientist?
I'm a botanist.
Good counterpoint, no.
Apologies. Could I link up my personal comm unit to the observation deck frequency?
You could use the communications in the bridge because you are in the bridge to communicate.
Sure. Yeah, no, I've worked on the system. I know how to operate it. Cool. I want to call down to observation deck. Hey, tall pink-haired guy, slightly less scary, I hope. You said you had sights on a system?
Oh, man.
You first begin hearing chirping and clicking in mid-stop. And then, yes, we, what was it? Yes, we got eyes on a system nearby here from the observation deck. This place is fascinating. You should check. You hear sound. Okay. Hey, focus. Sorry. Thank you. God. Yes, we got eyes on the system. We can send the data over there. It's slow. It's slow. We've been trying to send it to the bridge for the past couple of minutes, but it's been slow. We think we might take a bit of a long time to do this, but yeah.
I'll come down and grab the information. And then I cut off comms. So, I don't know if you guys heard that. Systems nearby. So, could jump. Maybe.
Worst thing that happens is we die sooner than we would by staying.
Extremely positive outlook. I was going to say, probably a system is better than no system.
Man, I wish I had my full memories.
Same.
So is
Fun
S just
fact,
going?
Kay would have said that regardless of knowing everything about Kay.
Yeah, S is gonna head down. The rest of the group is welcome to come with him, but he was just gonna quick go grab the information and make sure that we got it.
Mac's gonna go because apparently he's terrifying.
Kay's gonna go because they heard the Sharon language as the initial conversation point and doesn't want them to further intimidate the possibly young Sharon. If they're overly excited like they are, they're possibly a younger Sharon.
Gotcha. Null's gonna go because he's got nothing better going on.
So the whole group
Except
is
for Moss
going.
Ball.
Yeah, we're going.
Whole group's going. Great.
On my moss ball.
Make
The
sure you've
group-
got it in the right pocket.
Great.
you go there, and actually to get to the observation deck, you take the same elevator from the get you to the bridge, and it leads you directly. It's like, actually, I will share with you.
You good, Data?
Had a hiccup.
Wow.
Where is
That's
the
so little.
Homeward?
It
So,
was so cute.
Thanks. Embarrassment makes them go away.
for the first time, I'll share with all of you the
Our ship
image
was cool.
of how the draw arc looks. I have no ability on how to draw, so I'm just copying this design from a particular sci-fi saga. The draw arc would not have that icon of like the eagle over there, but yeah. And the observation deck would be like, you see that section that comes down below on the front side.
Mm-hmm.
That would be there, the observation. So you would basically go from the elevator up all the way from the bridge up, go all the way down.
So
We
we're
got
just sitting in
turrets.
silence this
It goes
whole
ra-
time. And I
it goes
imagine
somewhat
it
fast.
takes, like, if you've ever played Mass Effect 1, going in the elevators on that, how long that can take. And we're just standing there in silence because everyone's still, like, low-key afraid of Kay.
Yeah, wherever Kay is in a group, Mac is on the immediate, like, opposite, as far
I
away as possible.
I feel like just by how S is as a person, he has been defaulted to the one closest to K, and is just like kind of face forward.
You're making your way down. You're going down. I remember those. Sorry, those that went to the first Dralacon would remember the elevators from.
Oh my
from
gosh, they were
the
so
hotel.
loud.
Yeah, but also just saying, you're going down.
Going down.
Okay.
Elevators at my last job.
You're
did
going-
that.
You're moving to the lower decks. Before I have to repeat that phrase, I make myself laugh again. And eventually get to the observation. All the time you're in silence. Uncomfortable silence for some. And you get there and you see a couple of people working there, not many. And there's like a bit of a hallway where first there's nothing, then a door opens, and then you get to a section where there's like some computers, some readings, showing things like that. And the next door is sealed. And once you get to that and open it, you're greeted to what would be a completely dark room. And it would be pitch black if it wasn't for the somewhat faint illumination of a walkway forward that gets into a somewhat circular section with some computers and readings. And all around you, instead of seeing the framing of like windows and the structure of the ship, it's pitch black with what would be images of a system as it's floating around you. And you can see the image of like various worlds and hold on a moment.
So, Kay, you're not gonna do this scare thing often, right?
Of course not. That was just to see if I could. I don't plan on using it ever. I didn't know I
Okay.
could do it.
All right, cool.
We're all learning fascinating things about ourselves. Definitely something to keep in your back pocket for the future.
What on earth could I use that for? Or what on the station could I use that for? Sorry.
Earth, what's that?
And nobody
I
knows
can-
what that planet is.
I can
Um,
think of a couple of reasons where that would come in handy.
Yep. Sorry
I'm
for
sure
that
I've
little
had to
interruption.
use that before, but I cannot think of why.
There's a somewhat lingering sensation for you, Mac. Anxiety has risen again. You're not still sure why, but there's just that to point out. You get
Max
one
heard
point of
Kay
stress.
do that sound before.
As somebody who has cousin anxiety, can I chase down that anxiety in my brain and try to figure it out?
I will say yes. You would
In my robot brain?
it would take you. It would take you some time to figure out. At the moment, there's some things that might get your attention as you're getting to the observation. So I got distracted. I got something to.
Oh, it's okay.
So you enter into the observation deck, and it's like this holographic display of the system that was mentioned, but it's all around you, and you can even see like moons and things like passing like almost in front of you. So it's like you're walking into this illusion projection. You're not sure if it was caused by technology or magic, but it's there. And in the middle of it, you see there's one engineer, and then there is also the two people that you saw before that were at the helm of the ship when you went initially to the core section. The like young-looking Shirin, along with also kind of young-looking Vesk, and the Vesk is this like large, a bit bulky, chunky, not chunky, sorry, bulky, reptilian-esque, muscular. It looks more bulky rather than muscular.
So he's more fat, not built.
Triple C thick.
Okay. Yeah, and you see both of them like looking around at the things and like pointing it out, and they seem very excited about the situation. And the large reptilian one like looks like, oh, look at that. It's just like, oh. Like he like stands up like kind of military stance and like elbows the Shirin when he notices the four of you, in particular Mac. Oh.
S has got a look of wonder looking about the hologram and the illusory system around. He's just... It's one of the more relaxed times you would have seen S.
The engineer that looks like you pick it, maybe look kind of like android-esque individual, because you see some of those like kind of slightly glowy lines forming a bit in his expression, and his skin looks a bit like blue pale-ish, and doesn't have much hair. Even looks synthetic, the hair. Hey, I assume you are the guys that they said they were gonna come down here. Yeah, we got it up and running. We got the reading of this system. It doesn't look that far. Oh. Hey, Amos. He like waves at you. So yeah, isn't it fascinating? Like we can, like here, look at this. And he moves to a computer and like types a few stuff, and you see how the holographic projection moves to a specific planet, and like it rotates right above the center, and you can see the details. There's like information showing, but also like incomplete a bit. Like there's still some refining that needs to be done. Yeah, this can be our eyes for the moment until we get the rest of the sensor array working.
Do we know if this planet or the system in general is inhabited? Are there people there?
Oh no, the readings in the planets from here. Actually, I don't know. How if I know? I mean, this planet from the image looks kind of arid. I honestly don't know. I can move the things here, but
would a culture check allow me to, looking at the names of the planets here in the system, allow me to know if it's inhabited or not, or what we'd be looking at?
You wouldn't need a culture check because the names of the planets are like numeric.
Mm.
Like
I was just
Yeah, there's no indication that this is like a name system apart like X system number 71,500, like blah blah.
Is there a way that with their rig, I know that we're able to see the system. Is there a way for like any sort of statistical reading of probabilities of life in inhabitants?
Probably one of the computers. Yes.
Question.
Yes.
And this is in character. That was in character. Is there a way for us to find out if any of these planets are not inhabited or not is good, but I am more concerned with atmospheric conditions. Is it acidic? Is it breathable? I feel like S just got really excited.
Either S or Faye.
Well, both. Because of what we are looking for, I want to see if there is a way for us to pick up if there is a world within the system or a station within the system where there are satellites, because that means there's enough progression for what we're probably looking for.
There you go. I'm glad I could help. If I did. I don't know if I did.
I mean, sometimes just like hearing people talk about their ideas is like, oh, my idea. That's good. But yes, no, you did help. But could I roll a computers check to see if I can do a sweep to see if there are any satellites and if they are connected to any of the worlds here?
Okay. So whoever wants to start checking information in this, there's various consoles that can be checked and can be gleamed. So there's like the main console where you can move the focus of the observation and everything into like the center, so everybody can like work on that. But anybody who wants to start checking, I think computers would not work exactly in this.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is like the readings out from the scanners. It would work if you had like
What
more
about
of a communication system. That's where I was gonna go. Life science could work for this, to register information that might be regarded about the data from you won't be able to get like a full idea with life science of if this planet, like the very detailed description of what this planet is, but you could discern with life science, be like, this is a place we can breathe in.
Okay. So the DC for life science is lowered by 5, so whatever your mental DC is, lower it by 5 for me. And I rolled a 28. Just to be obnoxious.
Love it.
God, I hate that. And I love it at the same time.
Lowering
Okay,
the
and
standards
S
by
just-
5. Also, I've rolled a 28.
K and S just going back and forth talking about stuff, and then like players above tables like 28.
Meanwhile, Mac in the back with anxiety.
So I think so yeah, a life science would be a role for this, and I'll get into that in a moment. While I also like put up for everybody, anybody who has with the life science, mysticism, or physical science would be able to discern information out of this. So out of this, you begin checking the different planets, and it dawns to you, it quickly gets to you that many of these planets, first of all, this system has like 6 different planets, or at least celestial bodies. 2 of them, you gather they're like gas planets, so immediately disqualified. The other 4 planets, you immediately get that possibly with the for one of them, the readings are somewhat not complete, but you get enough of the ideas of, this has some methane. Is that how you
Methane.
pronounce
Methane.
methane? Yeah.
Yep.
Into the atmosphere, this seems not exactly appropriate for someone to breathe in. Even by the concentration that marks here, even a few minutes would be enough and lethal. For the others, there's one, the arid planet that got focused in, has enough atmosphere to be around without issue for a couple of hours, but it's of a lower density, so you would eventually be having, after a couple of hours, difficulty breathing in, and might be a bit of a harsh environment for some people. The other two are somewhat stable, but you are getting some weird readings that, because of the focus on life science, you're not sure what to get out of it. But they don't seem like normal signs of a very secure planet, at least from what you're gathering. There might be some life, but it might be a bit of a harsh environment for life there. But with breathable atmosphere.
I got a 17 for mysticism, which I feel like I should be rolling higher. I think I did skill points wrong, but I'll deal with that later.
I got a 0 because you named 3 skills that I'm totally useless in and have no ranks or training.
That happened.
Yeah.
So Amos just stands
So
here.
for mysticism, you're beginning to check around, and for one of those planets in particular, like, so you got the one that is very close to, like, is close to the sun, has the methane that is not available. Then you have 2. The second one, it's like Venus-esque, a bit of cloudy, a bit of a dense atmosphere. Then you have the arid one, then the gas one, then the other one, what is a bit of a cold, kind of cold planet weather, and then the other gas giant. On the cold one weather, you are checking in, and you find weird how there's information of regarding the arcane into a computer and how it is sensing it. And as you're checking it, there's also a moment where you feel you're no longer controlling this computer through just the interface and the keyboards. There's some of your will also being imparted into it, like how you've been controlling a bit of your magic. With that, you would get that there's some curious readings in the pole areas of this planet regarding some fluctuation of what would be defined as arcane, not archaic, arcane energy. Though with that role, it would be a bit of a kind of hard at the moment to discern what type of energy, but there's that energy localized in a physical manner. Not only, but there's something in the ground, something that's causing that emanation.
Okay. I will remember this.
If you don't, I've got notes.
Okay.
and yeah.
Intriguing.
So from what I can tell, there are 2 good planets, and I'm gonna pull them up on the screen.
The cold planet is not one of those 2, is it?
Yeah.
It is,
It
from
is,
my
it is.
understanding.
Ah,
Yeah.
gotcha. When she like pulls them up, Null's gonna. There's something interesting going on at the poles for this planet right here, and like sort of zoom in on it.
You do that, instead of being above, it moves, and for a moment you don't see the floor on where you're standing. It like becomes kind of translucent, and now you have the world in front of you, and you're like as if you were floating and moving along with this projection.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm not sure if it's relevant to our purposes, but potentially interesting to note. A bit of an energy surge coming from the poles, both north and south of this
I
planet.
think then it should be our one to try.
We've got only one shot. Make it work, right?
Oh, is this where we're going?
Yes, this is where we're going.
I can get a crew together and we can repair one of the smaller flyer ships to get us down there.
Once we get the whole ship bare, right? Because we can't just
Yeah?
get to it from here. I'm asking Sekrane as a player.
Oh.
Yeah, this is the small jump because it's a
Yeah.
nearby system.
Okay. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure that thought was correct.
And as you're checking that, and you still have those other pilots still afraid, was fascinated about your discoveries too, and you're checking on what would be your next destination. That's where we're gonna leave for tonight, as now the Dralark has a new plot to traverse to and get some of the repairs going now.
We have a heading.
It's
Yay.
Have a heading, indeed. So thank you everybody for joining us tonight for this next part of the adventure of Homeward. Wow, I was so excited to start getting into this part because we are now getting into the space exploration as we get the crew ready and possibly an expedition planet side. I think what shows are we gonna have couple therapy?
No.
Okay.
There are no shows in the next week. Unless
there's
I
a
do
possibility.
Cornerstone. I haven't figured that one out yet.
I think there's a possibility for any by night for Monday. Possibly. We're still looking at that. We got Cornerstone going, possibly going for next week too. But in the meantime, I think there's someone who needs to plug some stuff.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Faye. I'm with Little Witch RP, which you can find out more about at littlewitch.com. I highly suggest heading over there because right now we are doing a community quest where you guys can send in submissions for polling as we build a custom quest line based on what you guys send in. So, yeah, that's really cool. Head over there.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Take care and stay nerdy.